All right, guys, coming to you from the French countryside. I hope you're doing well today. Let's see where we go. This is for anyone who needs to hear this message. I obviously don't know the title right now, so you do. Let's see let's see where the reading is going for whoever needs to hear this message, whatever message wants to come through. So let's see what needs to show up right now. What needs to show up right now, my darlings? Almost to the end of the year. Impasse. That was an evil laugh, Mary Jo. Fogged in. Vast vistas. So, again, I did the morning message on Friday reading. Kind of is like this. It was like there's something that you have overcome. There's something that you have been in the midst of that may have made you feel a little bit turned around. But that, my darling, is coming to an end. I will do I think just a first quarter of 2023 astrological look ahead so you can see what's coming. And there is some real clarity. There is some real clearing out this year. I know a lot of people have had a great year, but I also have heard from a lot of you that you haven't had such a great year. And it's just been kind of a re-leveling of some things or coming to a new place, a new experience from either hardship or difficulties or just surrendering to the journey a little bit more strongly. Now, that's a very spiritual message. So let's see what's happening to what's coming through here. I'm going to do a little, let's see. Let's see what comes through, please. I'm not going to try to control this at all. I never do anyway, but I feel like I had to say that. All right. Magician underneath, right? You are manifesting. That can be a sense of taking control of your life, right? I heard the word control and I'm like, I don't think I'm really trying to control this because I never really do. I just allow whatever comes through. But that feels like it's like taking back control in some meaningful way. Right? The Hierophant, Page of Wands, Death, Two of Cups, Page of Pentacles, the Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, Nine of Wands, and the Hanged Man. All right. So this definitely looks like, I'm just going to jump right to the, get right to the chase here. The Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands. Nines are the ends of a cycle. And it's almost like no matter how much you try to move forward, whether it's in your work or whatever, sometimes cycles just need to complete, right? We just need to allow things their time. And we're cool with it. And actually time does speed up a lot when we're in the place of enjoying a thing or enjoying a cycle or being on a high or feeling successful or having new things come in, new love show up. Like those times we're like, yeah, don't let this ever stop. I want to be in this cycle forever. It's only when we get to the end of a cycle and we're like, we've got to, kind of move around through it again to get to the next level. Some of you are hanging on to an old cycle. And some of you are pretty strong about it. Okay, so I'm getting this, I got this Gemini energy, the Taurus energy, the Scorpio energy here. The Hierophant is Taurus energy, and it is about what I value. It's also about the way things should be. Okay. I live in Maine, you know that. And some of you know that when you come into the state of Maine, there's a little banner that says the way life should be. And I always look at that and I'm like, because I think there's open to interpretation of how you think life should be. But I also think the word should leaves you open to disappointment instead of open to magic. And that's what I think is being asked of you here. Be open to more magic. Be open to, instead of like directing, when you're manifesting, we talk a lot about, not controlling the how. The universe is moving things around and how it happens and what it looks like and stuff. That's the universe's job. It's your job to say, I want to experience love. I want to experience wealth. I want to experience peace. I want to experience fill in the blank. Okay. And how that actually shows up for you, I feel like the universe has a better sense of humor and is way more subtle than you might think. I was talking to someone at dinner last night, and she was telling me that her mother, she's so longed for her mother to come through. And why isn't her mother coming through? And she's praying for it and asking for it. And I just listened to her. And then later in the conversation, she recounted a few stories during the course of that dinner that had me like, you're not even seeing that this could be the hand of your mom. Like something reminded her of a story when she was growing up, and she had seen that thing, that little reminder during the day today or day yesterday. And I was like, mom's pretty subtle. Okay. Not always do they come along like bashing you over the head with a frying pan. Hopefully they don't ever do that. But the universe is more subtle and has a better sense of humor than you might think, right? Sometimes things are like a little bit on the nose. I'm trying to think of an example because I've said that to myself many times, you know. And, you know, if you're asking for peace, you know, getting a person forgets to pick you up to go to a party and something like that. I just recall that happening to me in my 20s, and I was supposed to be getting a ride from someone, and somebody else thought I was getting a ride from another person, and so nobody showed up. But that evening, you know, after I got over being angry about that, it was a lovely, peaceful kind of evening. And it was something about like rejection is God's protection. I definitely embraced that right around that time in my 20s. And, you know, for varying degrees of it's showing up, and sometimes it's not showing up, and you just have to kind of like roll with it. You know what I mean? Like the universe and God shows up, and your ancestors show up in much more subtle ways, and sometimes not the way you hope, but the way you need, based on where you are, based on what you need to learn, based on the current path, based on the current lessons, whatever it is. And so it's like being inspired by the littlest things, finding joy in the smallest things is a huge transformational opportunity here. Instead of being rigid about, oh my God, it has to show up like this. Like if you're asking for love, I say this a lot with my twin flame group, that if you're asking for love, it can show up in ways that support your journey, in ways that revive you, in ways that activate you. And you may not even be really aware of it. Some of you are looking for purpose and meaning in this life, and it could show up in terms of being someone else's joy. You know, your aunt needs a kind word, and you show up at her house with a pie, and it's like, that's joy, right? There's just this joy that you're bringing to other people, and you may not even see how you're being used by spirit or God to spread the desires and needs and hopes and fears of other people, right? Somebody's in therapy right now because of you. So all of us have that. I think there is something here that's showing up that you may not immediately recognize as a shift. Okay. So the Two of Cups and the Page of Pentacles is very subtle energy, right? The Page of Pentacles is about finding value in the small things. Two of Cups is kindness. It's not always like a one-to-one relationship, or I mean like a love relationship, like a romantic love relationship. It can show up in, you know, someone doing something thoughtful for you, or you doing something thoughtful for somebody else. And some of us work so damn hard at manifesting the exact picture we have in our head that it keeps us stuck. Okay? And so the universe is saying to you, clear that out. Clear out the struggle of it's got to look a certain way, the way life should be, right? Clear that out. And instead, embrace the magic and the wonder of what is actually showing up. That's the thing that is going to help you move through an end of a cycle, right? Surrender to the end of a cycle and allow you to be in a place of happiness, joy, healing, expanding your horizons. Sometimes travel. Right? For me, travel is an essential part of opening myself up. I stay in the same place. I stay in the same house. I do my work. I have my friends. I have my life and all of that. But sometimes, especially for someone who has a North Node placement like me, expanding into the world is a thing that opens me up, okay? And gives me new perspectives on things, gives me new, pathways to God, brings me closer to humanity and seeing how different people and different cultures and different ways of experiencing life really shows me that, boy, sometimes we can let our lives get pretty small. Okay. And that's a Sagittarian kind of strength, is to open yourself up and be excited about that. Not everybody's excited about that. Some people are very much more, I want to create the thing I most want in the same track that I have been living in. And that might not be the message from Spirit right now. Okay. I do see Gemini, and I see Taurus, and I see Scorpio here. I'll also pull some cards for Sag just to get a sense. But this is definitely feeling like there's a moment in time when you're going to be given a gift, or a very small, subtle opportunity. Your job is to pay attention. This week, pay special attention to the small things. All right. I'm going to see where this goes. I do see that some of you have an experience like this coming in your work. Some of you have it in love. So I'll pull some cards around work and love. We'll see where we go. And I'll also pull some cards for those zodiac signs too. Sun, moon, rising, Venus. All right. Link is below if you want to continue on with me. If this is your reading, I'll see you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.